This is Dr. Praveen Ramchandra. In this video, I will be explaining you about insulin. Insulin, why it is secreted and when it was discovered, historical perspective, etc. Insulin is a molecule of 51 amino acid chains with one alpha chain, one beta chain, and C peptide chain, which interlink these two. Insulin is produced in our body in the pancreas, in the beta Langerhans cells. Pancreas has got many cells like alpha cells, beta cells, gamma cells, delta cells, and epsilon cells. Alpha cells secretes glucagon, whereas beta cells secretes insulin. In early last century, in 1918, last of the 18th, 19th century and beginning of the 20th century, there were this molecule was identified as a glucose lowering agent. Initially, pancreatic extracts were used to treat, and they could not quantify it. Then later on, with the advance of the science, they improved the purification system, and they could isolate insulin molecule. And initially we used to use insulin from the origin of pigs, that is porcine insulin or ox insulin. However, later with the advent of the recombinant insulin, we have started recombinant human insulin. Lilly is the one who has pioneered this type of insulin, and Lilly is the first pharmaceutical company which actually produced insulin in the mass scale and started marketing. Then insulin, now initially there were multiple types of insulin. They were divided according to the types or duration of their action. We had short-acting insulin and long-acting insulin. Till now also we use the same classification. Initially there used to be some lente, ultra-lente insulin which used to be more than 24 hours and all, and they used to have a lot of disadvantages like intractable hypoglycemia and all. Nowadays we don't use. We use only NPH insulin, which is long-acting, and right now we can divide this whatever the insulin available in the market, we can divide either as short-acting insulin and long-acting insulin. The short-acting insulin, we have regular insulin, it is uncomplexed insulin with the zinc molecule, and later we have in short-acting we have got in the short-acting we have got Lispro, Aspart, and Glulysin. In long-acting we have got NPH and analogs which Glargine and Tetramyr. Let us take one by one. Short-acting insulin. Short-acting insulin, either you can use regular, however the onset is beyond 30 minutes. So if the patient takes a regular insulin, he has to actually take, since the peak of insulin level occurs it takes more than 30 minutes to appear in the peak concentration in the plasma. The patient has to take insulin and wait for 30 minutes before having food. This disadvantage is that onset. I mean, patient actually really plan his meals. Otherwise, it is very difficult. It is very difficult in the case of children who actually can't plan their food. If children go to restaurant, they can't plan their food. So this is a disadvantage of regular short-acting insulin. The new analogs of insulin, which are created by either replacing one or more amino acids in the insulin chain, amino acid sequence, or like Lispro, Aspart, and Glulysin. All the three have similar pharmacokinetic profiles. Pharmacokinetic I mean they have similar peak time for peak concentration in human plasma, that is around 10 to 15 minutes, and other things like even they will be short acting, much lesser, like their whole duration action could be less than 2 to 3 hours. So this has the advantage that patient need not actually have this gap of 30 minutes before and after. Patient can just take injection and go and have food. He can plan immediately how many units require according to the meal size and exercise is physical exertion is he might be able to he might be planning to do. Whereas coming to long acting, we have NPH, which is once again unpredictable, has got a variable or unpredictable plasma concentration. So now, unless this price is a concern, NPH and regular cheaper insulin, whereas long acting analogs like glargine and detrimer, if they are much better. Among glargine and detrimer, probably detrimer scores over glargine because it has less chance of hypoglycemia compared to glargine. And however, both glargine and detrimer are much more safer when compared to NPH. NPH we have to take twice a day. Detrimer can be taken once or twice a day, or glargine can be taken once a day. These are the new analogs we have got. So, what I would like to advise diabetic patient is go for these new analogs, which are much more easy to control and predict in their pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic aspects. And however, it's a bit costly, but not very costly. Most of the people in India and abroad can afford it. Thank you.